Breakthrough in the Air India Express crew crisis. That it was day 2 of the crisis, with 85 flights being cancelled today. But finally, after hours of negotiations, finally a breakthrough. The employees who were sacked will be reinstated and the crew will return to work tomorrow. Well, let's go across now to Vishnu and Ishika for more on this. And Vishnu, first to you, a big relief that this crisis has been resolved and hopefully things will go back to normal soon.
Well, this is the letter which actually announces it all, details of which we broke here on NDTV about half an hour ago. And the letter is a letter signed by representatives of the management, the conciliation officer and the chief labour commissioner in Delhi, and also representatives of the union. And this basically says that on the appeal of the Chief Labour Commissioner, the management agreed to reinstate 25 cabin crew who have been terminated on the 7th and 8th of May 2024 for reporting sick. As a concerted action immediately, the management will review the cases of these cabin crew as per their service regulations. I, in fact, was able to speak to officials within Air India Express to understand what the second line means, that the management will review the cases. And I was told that this doesn't mean that they're going to be terminated a second time around, but every case will be looked at. But yes, the strike, if I am to use that word, is now over and they are expected to return to work immediately. It will take 3 to 4 days for the airline to restore services. So that's going to take a little bit of time, but it's done and dusted. It's been difficult. And it's resulted in huge problems for thousands of passengers. 178 odd flights cancelled in less than 48 hours. Gargi.
That's right. And Ishika, huge inconvenience to passengers. Also, the ministry was watching all these negotiations very closely. And now all the issues have been resolved.
Well, yes, certainly, as we were reporting for the past few days, that it were the passengers that were majorly impacted and, in fact, affected because of this, because even today there were 85 Air India Express flights that were cancelled across India. Now, this includes the international as well as the domestic flights. But today, the Chief Labour Commissioner held a very crucial meeting today. The meeting lasted for 5 hours, and after that, certainly a big breakthrough in this crisis of the Air India Express. Now, in fact, in this very order, it is said that all the employees, who were terminated, they will be reinstated. And not just that, all the employees will be rejoining their duties with fitness certificate effective immediately. Not just that, from the management side also, the union has received assurances. The management has assured that all the issues, all these grievances that the employees had, all of them will be sorted out. They will be holding one-on-one talks over this issue. And even if that is not, even if that doesn't happen, then another Chief Labour Commissioner meeting is going to be held on 28th of May, where in fact, a review of all the steps were taken. All of that will be discussed in that. But certainly now it is a big breakthrough in this crisis, and certainly we are hoping that in the coming days, the passengers of the Air India Express will not be facing any more issues in regards to the cancellations and delays of the Air India Express flights. Over to you.
That's right. Vishnu, also, this is the second time we've seen something like this happen. Pilots, calling in sick or crew calling in sick. And it's unfortunate that it comes to this crisis, which, as you said, impacts so many passengers. Hopefully, these communication lines can stay open and airlines ensure that something like this doesn't happen again.
So very briefly, yes, absolutely. Since the Tata's mega venture into civil aviation, Air India Express, Air India, Vistara and Air Asia have all come into their fold. New management practices, new systems. Remember, a lot of these workers in Air India Express were part of the government. Air India Express was with the government. It was a legacy airline, different work practices, different cultures, different contracts, different expectations, all of that. So they need to also adjust to the new system of how they're assessed, how the airline looks into things like complaints by passengers. So it's that transformation which has been very difficult. That's also been the case when it comes to pilots at Vistara earlier, but different set of concerns and complaints. I would, however, also like to say that many of the concerns and complaints are fairly valid if you speak to independent voices, but it is something that the airline needs to resolve to ensure that something like this doesn't happen. Quite besides the fact that thousands of passengers are inconvenienced, it costs the airline a great deal of money. Remember, an airline only makes money when its planes are with passengers and flying, not when they are on the ground.